Hey there, Aries. Welcome to your reading for the week of July 28th. This week, you have this Joy and Pleasure card. You also have this Sacred Ceremony card. Definitely a good week to do more things that you enjoy doing, and to bring more happiness into your life, of course. I also think that it is a great time for spiritual work. You have that Sacred Ceremony card, and this could be you doing something nice for yourself, or doing some sort of spiritual thing for yourself, or tapping more into the spiritual side. I kind of feel that Uranus and Gemini, one thing, well, I would say maybe something that I didn't really realize about Uranus and Gemini is the fact that, we all could be downloading brilliant ideas basically from, source, right? And so, if you're hoping for an idea or, especially for those of you that are stuck in life, or that are looking for just your next step, I feel that tapping in spiritually could be the thing that does kind of lead you to your next step. And I kind of feel that's what this card is saying, the Sacred Ceremony card, and also the rest of the reading. We have the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands can be a card of communicating, and it can be a card of spiritual communication as well. So I definitely feel, Aries, that some of you, it's like you could be attracting some information. You start with the Four Cups, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Four of Swords. The Four Cups can represent disappointment. Sorry, I feel like I'm off center here, Aries, but the Four Cups can be past disappointments, or past issues, or concerns, or difficulties that you've dealt with. I feel a lot of stuff here. I don't know. I'm not getting typical Four of Cups energy here. I'm getting a lot of things. Usually the Four of Cups is kind of surrounding one idea, right? It's maybe love didn't work out for him, and he's getting a new love offer. So since love didn't work out, he's deciding, I don't want love anymore. Or work or business. I kind of feel this is a bunch of things that you have dealt with. It's not really saying one thing to me. And not only that, we go down to the Five of Cups to the Nine of Wands. And so there's a little bit of resistance going on here, Aries, for you this week. I wouldn't, again, whenever stuff like this comes up during a retrograde, though, I always say, I wouldn't read too much into it, because, retrograde times, sometimes that happens. Sometimes we feel lost during a retrograde, and we just aren't sure what our next step should be, but that's the whole point of the retrograde, is that we should be lost, because being lost is the thing that leads us to the answer in the first place, right? And during a retrograde. So, again, I wouldn't, this isn't something I'd worry about. I wouldn't read too much into it. But I do feel that some of you, it's you're trying to get over these, maybe some disappointments or something. Five of Cups can also say that, you need to turn around. He needs to see these two cups, then he gets this bridge in the castle, and that's how he overcomes these difficulties. The other thing that I'm getting here for you, Aries, is with this Ten of Pentacles, which is an amazing card, of course. It's everything you want and desire in your life. It's I feel like you should be making things easier, not harder, is what this is saying. And what the hell am I talking about? What I'm talking about here is work or business, however you make money. I feel like you shouldn't be saying to yourself, I need to do more work. You should be saying, how can I be more efficient, or how can I do this better? It's YouTube is a great example, right? There are YouTubers like Mr. Beast. He probably makes a few $1 million from one video, right? At least. I mean, who the hell knows? But it's probably a lot, because I think last time I checked, he made $600 million or something like that, right? So he makes millions of video. And then you have other YouTubers that don't make anything at all, right? They're both doing the same thing. His videos, yeah, sure, maybe they require more effort and things like that, but, it's pretty much they're doing exactly the same thing, but they're getting vastly different results, right? And so I think that it's a myth that we have to, work hard for money. And I think we all need to get over that myth, of course, as well. But I feel like you need to say to yourself, it's not more work that you need to be doing. And that's what this reading is saying to me, Aries. I feel like a lot of you are trying to increase your finances, or you're thinking about it. And Four of Cups, you've been disappointed with what you've gotten so far. Five of Cups, you're still disappointed. And I feel like the universe is saying, but here, and again, here's the problem. It's sometimes when we're disappointed, I think we think to ourselves, I got to work harder. But really, that's not the answer. I think the answer here is for you, to focus either on quality, or being efficient, things like that. It's there are other ways to increase your earnings, I think, in work or business or whatever else you do. And again, I really just feel more work is not necessarily the answer. There might be better solutions, like I said, focusing on quality, or improving something else that you do, right? And, that's what I would focus on here. You have the Four Swords, very, very much a healing week. A lot of people have had literal healing cards in the Oracle cards, but also in the Tarot as well, like the Four Swords. So it seems to me like it's a good week to focus on healing. I would actually say I'm recording this video on the 24th of July, and it will be published on the 25th. And so even if you're watching this like on the 25th or the 26th or 27th, I would say like start right now, right? Healing or focusing on healing, because it just seems to be like a good time for healing and discovering some answers. This kind of makes sense because of Chiron and Aries. Chiron is finally getting to the end of Aries. And I don't really enjoy Chiron and Aries personally, and yeah, I think that it's a difficult place for Chiron to be. Chiron is the wounded healer, right? The beautiful thing, though, about Chiron and Aries is that it can bring about some answers. The other thing I will tell you is that if you were born in like 87, 88, 89, somewhere around there, like those years, you're going to have Jupiter is basically going to be right on top of Chiron, or tight conjunction with Chiron there, depending on when you were born. You're going to have to look at your own chart. But this is very good for healing in general. You have, with the Four of Cups, you have the Ace of Cups. Definitely could be love. Right here, Page of Cups. I mean, there's like some sort of love offer here. Obviously, you're going to have to open up to it, Aries. You might be a little closed off to love. I actually don't feel like telling you to be open, if I'm being honest with you, Aries. It's like sometimes I think we're closed off for good freaking reason, right? Although, I don't know. We'll see. This, like, I think this is good. But, I also with the retrograde, again, I wouldn't rush right into anything. But, there definitely could be a love offer coming in. Like I always say, a reading can say that love is coming in for you even if you don't want love. So, that could also be the case. It's like, it doesn't matter if you want love or not. It's like, that's not going to prevent a person from being interested in you. So, again, there could be like a person that's coming in for you here. I'm not sure what you're going to do about it yet. So, we'll see. With the Ten of Pentacles, you have the King of Swords. The problem here is that we have the King of Swords with the Queen of Swords. I do not really like the King of Swords and Queen of Swords as far as divine counterparts are concerned, because they are two people who don't see eye to eye. So they're like two people, who could be divine counterparts, but they're not looking at each other, And so I'm not sure who's being closed off here, but someone. Like, if you want love, it's either you or them. I'm not sure yet. I kind of am leaning towards a person. It's like you might be interested in a person who's being closed off, or maybe you're going to have to get them to open up in some way. With the Four of Swords, you have the Six of Cups. Pretty good, actually, in this situation if you want love, because Six of Cups can be a soulmate, but it can also say, it can also be a card of a turnaround, or creating a turnaround. So, a lot of you could be creating a turnaround in a situation. I like the Six of Cups right now for love because it's like very lighthearted, playful energy. It's like, it's good. I think the Six of Cups is soulmates. A lot of people read it as a person from the past. I do not. It is a card of nostalgia. It's a card of thinking about the past, but it doesn't mean someone's coming back from the past, number one. Number two, it can be a card of soulmates. Also, to me, it can represent like a more lighthearted connection. And like if you want love, and if this is love coming in for you, that is exactly what I think the reading is saying, is like taking a more lighthearted approach to the connection, meaning like you're not taking it too seriously. It's not that you're not taking it seriously, just not too seriously. You're kind of like more in that space of like, I'll just look at this as fun and I'll see how it goes, and I'm not going to overinvest, all that other stuff. I think if you do that, things could go very well. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this Waking the Lion card and this Into Me I See card. Yeah, it's kind of funny that you have these two cards together, and I'll tell you why. We have Mercury going retrograde in Leo, right? And so it's like, yeah, I mean, everybody is waking the lion in a sense, or that energy, right? And but Mercury retrograde would be inside of you. It would be intimate. This card says, "Into me I see." So a lot of you could be kind of, waking the lion inside of yourself in some way. One of my favorite quotes is Eric Thomas, hip hop preacher. He says, "Real lions like to hunt," right? And that's kind of like what's popping into my head for you here, Aries, even though you're not a Leo, is that some of you could be discovering like that type of purpose. You could be discovering something that you like to do, that you end up doing to survive, right? And, this might start as a seed inside of yourself, like an idea or something this week. Remember what I said at the beginning of the reading about Uranus and Gemini? With all these ideas that could be popping into our heads, those are the things I would be paying attention to, because I feel like this Waking the Lion card is saying you're finding something that you're going to be very successful at. You have the Page of Cups, the Five of Cups, and the Three of Cups. Page of Cups could be a love offer coming in for you. So obviously, if you want love, I feel this could be love. I don't know. Some of you, this might be you that's making the love offer. You might be communicating with a person here with the Eight of Wands. So, again, some of you might be trying to talk to a person or something. It is popping into my head. So, yeah, I mean, it looks good. We'll see what happens as we clarify the rest of the reading. I'm not ready to say yes or no yet for you, Aries, but, we'll see. Although, again, it does look good. So, I think it's going in the right direction if you want love. You have the Five of Cups. I really feel that we, like pretty much everyone, I think, has to start from a clean slate. We are in a different world right now, and I feel we need to, it's not really like we're starting over on things, but I think we need to just be open to the idea that things can be different in our lives, in any area of our lives. This could be in your health, in your business, and, things that you love to do, whatever, it doesn't matter. But I think, like, being open to the fact that, or to the idea that things can be different in our lives is what we need to do. We need to start looking on the bright side. And, it's like we have to pull ourselves out of disappointment energy. And, I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say here, Aries, but I think that there are a lot of disappointments in the world, and, it's just going to continue. So the only thing we can do is to not be disappointed. And we have to, like, create what we want. You have the Three of Cups, which is pretty good. You have two cards of reunion here. You have the Six of Cups and the Three of Cups. This absolutely could be a past life person. So I feel like someone is, it's like a person from a past life here. I feel like you already know who this person is. Like, I feel like you already have your eyes on this person. I feel like you're totally this person's type too, is what I feel like saying as well. It's like, I don't know what the holdup here is. I mean, obviously they're your type too, because I mean, you're obviously attracted to them. It's like there's some sort of issue with communication or something. I don't really see this in the reading. I feel it just intuitively in general. This is only for those of you that already know a person. It's like, maybe you've never even talked to them. Maybe it's just a person you see at work or something like that, right? And, it could be someone you see socially as well, because we have the Eight of Wands. But there's like something that's blocking the communication or preventing the communication. The weird message I'm getting here, Aries, is that you might only see this person under certain circumstances. Like, what the hell am I talking about again? It's like maybe this person comes into your work, and maybe there's no time to talk to them. Maybe you only see this person at work meetings. Like, you work with the person, but maybe the only time you see them is when there's a meeting or something like that. And so, I don't know. There's like some sort of obstacle popping into my head. This is very specific. This might only be for some of you, but it's like maybe you need to slip this person your number or something like that. Or something has got to go on here. For all of you, by the way, very social week. Three of Cups, Six of Cups, Eight of Wands. These are very good cards for socializing. And there was something about socializing that kept coming up in the August readings. Like, there would be a lot of benefits in socializing, so I would. With the Page of Cups, you have the Ten of Wands. Work. You cannot make it up. There's like some sort of blockage here. Like, someone needs to see the forest through the trees here as well, Aries. He's very close to reaching his goal, this home in the background, but these wands that he's holding are all in front of his face. But he needs to realize how close he is to achieving his goal, right? He needs to get down here. So I feel like a lot of you need to realize, like, just how close you are to something. And it could be love. With the Five of Cups, you have the Hierophant here. Rules could be getting in the way, right? The Hierophant isn't necessarily a bad card and can represent marriage, which is great, but the Hierophant can definitely come up when, there are certain rules or regulations or, things, kind of traditional beliefs that are getting in the way. For some of you, this could be a person where it's like maybe you have, like, there are religious differences or, something along those lines, or cultural differences or something like that as well as popping into my head. I don't know. Obviously, it's going to be different than for all of you, but, I don't know. I still think this would be very good if, like, the two people here can get over this or can heal, can do something through it, is what I'm getting. For others, I feel like you need to realize that there are blessings coming in for you. Again, I do get this energy that I feel a lot of people have put a lot of work into things. Ten of Wands. And I feel like a lot of people also are kind of like in this place where they're about to give up. I feel like a lot of the readings lately have been telling people to definitely don't give up before you get your reward, right? Another one of my favorite quotes from Eric Thomas. I've quoted him a lot this week. He says, at the end of pain is success. And, it's like, I said this to someone else this week. I don't remember who it was. But it's like, sometimes I feel like these people that I quote are people that need to come out at this time. It's like, energetic, right? It's like people need to hear his advice right now, clearly. And, I feel that it's like the universe has really been telling people, like, don't give up on something you're working on because you're about to get a blessing, but if you give up, you're not going to get it, right? With the Three of Cups, you have the Five of Pentacles. Really, I feel like there's too much fear here between you and a person, or a person. It's like a person has been left out in the cold too many times. Could be both people in this situation because there are two people right here. This is kind of like one of those things. I feel like it's 50-50. It's like for some of you, it's clear to me that you'll probably slip this person your number, or vice versa, or something will happen, and you'll come together. For others, probably not. So I really don't. I know that's not really good advice, but unless it gets you to move your ass, Aries, then it is good advice. But if not, then not good advice, right? Five of Pentacles says you need to not call attention to your weaknesses as well. Readings are different for everyone. And, that Five of Pentacles says that maybe if you don't feel that you're good enough for a person, maybe you need to start telling yourself you are, because you are, and that could help you, attract this person. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this Confront card. It says Assertion, Self-Confidence, and Shadow. You have this Freedom card. It says Released, Unburdened, and New Beginning. I do think, it is a good time to stick up for yourself, right? It's a good time. It is actually kind of like a good time to be, assertive and self-confident and to confront people instead of being nice, right, all the time. So, I don't really think Aries has a problem with that, but I do think that would be good for you. Definitely could be some positive new beginnings coming in for you as well. You have the Queen of Swords, the Eight of Wands, and the Nine of Wands. The Queen of Swords is about seeing things clearly for the first time. I think this part of the reading is pretty clear. Queen of Swords to the Wheel of Fortune. I said at the beginning of the reading that it's almost like you're getting a message or something about like what your next step is, and that's what this would be right here. It's like the Queen of Swords can see what will change her fortunes. That's it. I think you're getting the next step that will lead to changing your fortunes, right? You have the Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands is quick success or a quick conclusion, so I do feel there could be a quick success coming in for you here with the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands is also about your focus. Like, literally, I feel like there's nothing you can't have if you focus on it. Funny enough, again, this is what was giving me the message that you are someone's type, or vice versa. Or, I think you're both each other's type, right? And so if you want love, there could be a person. It's like your focus on a person is what I'm trying to say. There's something about that. There's something about, like, a focus on a person. I don't know, it's popping into my head. The other thing is another story that's popping into my head for you here, Aries, is like if you see this person, if you look at them and they're never looking at you, the same thing happens to them, is what's popping into my head. It's like I see two people that are like, oh, I wish this person would look at me because then I would know that they like me. But it's like when you look at them, they're not looking at you. When they look at you, you're not looking at them. Random ass story, but there you go. It's like you might be thinking, this person doesn't like me because they never look at me. But it's not true. They look at you all the time. You're just not looking. I don't know. There you go. And Eight of Wands, would be communication. You have the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands says don't give up on something. I feel like some of you, this could say like don't give up on love or the idea of love. For others, I feel the Nine of Wands is talking about experimentation. Nine of Wands is my card of throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. With the Queen of Swords, you have the Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles is straightforward, diligent work. Eight of Pentacles is about putting work into something and getting a result. Eight of Pentacles is also material success on the horizon. So I do feel like there could be more success coming in for you in the future if you're working on stuff. With the Eight of Wands, you have the Temperance card. Temperance is like cause and effect sometimes. That's not really what Temperance represents. It's a card of alchemy, but sometimes I do feel that it is cause and effect because, the angel here is trying to turn water into wine. And so I feel for a lot of you, it's like you're trying to turn something into something more, And definitely this could be love. So if you are trying to kind of like attract love, then maybe communication is the answer. Maybe you just need to talk to a person whenever you can, because that will probably turn the situation around. For others, I literally feel like your words are spells this week with that Eight of Wands and the Temperance card. So I would really watch your words. It's kind of funny that I'm saying this because I think it was last month, or maybe like the beginning of July, actually. For whatever reason, I feel like we're in August already, but whatever. So like July, and also I would say August, I think are 2 months where we should really be paying attention to our communication, because it's like our words are spells. Maybe not literally, but kind of more figuratively. And I think we need to be speaking more positively about what we want. I think we need to speak into existence what we want. I would also correct your thoughts as well. I just did it this morning. I started thinking negatively about something, then I was like, no, stop. Correct the thoughts. Start focusing on what you want, right? And part of Uranus and Gemini. Uranus loves being in Gemini. Mercury is the ruler of Gemini. Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury in astrology. So, putting that all together, I think we're all communicating with the universe right now, and we need to make sure that we say what we want, not what we don't want. With the Nine of Wands, you have the Nine of Wands. You have boundaries. I think that as long as you have healthy boundaries with a potential person or with a potential new person, then things will go well. I think if you don't, then things won't. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this Web of Creation card. It says, be aware of what you're weaving in your life to create better experiences. You have this exchange, and there you go. I mean, we talk about weaving a web is like or spinning a yarn, right? Is like telling a story. So I think that you need to watch your words. You have this exchanging gifts card. It says, there's a dance of give and take. What you give, you will get back. Wheel of Fortune, for sure. Wheel of Fortune kind of is also like a give and take card, because we can get the wheel to spin in whatever direction we want depending on what we focus on. And so I think this exchanging gifts card is saying you will change your fortunes by focusing in the right direction. And again, it's crazy. I just said that thing about the words that you use, and I would practice that this month. And I don't think we have to be perfect. People say to me all the time, it's like, I know this person who's a millionaire and they're miserable. I'm like, yeah, but maybe what you don't realize is that they might, even though they might seem miserable, or even though they might seem like they're negative, they really actually might be just like 1% over, they might be 51% positive. And so I don't think we have to be perfect, right? I think if we're just like 51% to the positive side of things with the words that we use, that's probably enough, right? And so, that's something to think about. You don't have to be perfect when you're doing this. You have the Wheel of Fortune, Four of Pentacles, and the Eight of Cups, sorry. The Wheel of Fortune can be your fortunes turning in your favor, of course. Again, I think you could be doing this with your words. Not even just this week, but I would say, for the entire month of August, I would, really pay attention. That's really for longer, but, I kind of just feel like there's extra energy right now for us all to focus on our words and what we say. And doing that would be a good idea. But definitely could be a change in your fortunes. You have the Four of Pentacles. I do feel good about this with that Eight of Wands, because, Four of Pentacles normally would be holding on too tightly to something, but it's almost like you're very much more easily releasing an old story, which is good. I think right now is a great time to release stories from a healing perspective as well. I said this at the beginning of the reading with the Four Swords, right? That, it's a great time for healing, but one thing we could heal is the stories that we tell ourselves. And sometimes the stories we tell ourselves are a form of protection, even though they might not be best for us, right? And so sometimes it's hard to let those things go. I kind of feel you're in a place where you can easily let go of stories. So I would do something to make that happen. You have the Eight of Cups, again, walking away from what no longer serves you. So I think a lot of you are probably just removing things that no longer serve you and doubling down on things that do serve you, right? Doing more of what's good for you. With the Wheel of Fortune, here you go. Can't make this up. Lovers. This is like this could be absolutely a past life lover returning into your life. This is not a past person, but, Three of Cups, Six of Cups, up to this Lovers card. I'm telling you right now, if you're attracting a person, it's like a past life person. Could be a Gemini, speaking of Gemini. I mean, it could be a person with Gemini in their chart or something as well. Could be any sign, general reading. But you're definitely attracting a person. Yeah, a person as opposed to a snail. Like, luckily you're not going to be attracting any snails here, right? With the Four of Pentacles, you have the Star. Could be an Aquarius or a person with Aquarius in their chart. But the Star is also like a card of hope, faith, and renewal. Remember I said, it's like you're getting the next step. I'm not suggesting that you're really going to be taking all that much action this week, but I think this Mercury retrograde is amazing for planning. I think it's really good for like coming up with a plan on like what you're going to do. So, a lot of you could be having that like inspiration this week on what your next step should be. This whole entire reading, it just feels like a next step reading to me, Aries, like you're discovering what to do next, right? And here you go. With the Eight of Cups, you have the Hermit. He has the Star in his lantern right there. So, he's been through a dark night of the soul. He's been through something difficult. You have the 10 of Wands right there. Life has been a pain in the ass, Aries, for too long. And it's like now you're finally at the finish line. You know, I like the Hermit in the good stuff. Not that I don't like the Hermit outside of the good stuff. He's just not my favorite. Again, I don't think he's ever really a bad card. He just, sometimes I think the Hermit can be a little bit too stuck, but pretty good in this reading, I would say. Sure, we'll take both. You have this power in this idealism card. I think you are gaining power, and you know, I think the idealism card is saying you need to do this in a good way. That's not normally what I feel on this idealism card. Normally, what I say on this idealism card intuitively is that I get that it says don't try to be perfect, but right now I feel that really you are going to be doing something in it like a perfect way, almost. Not like perfect, but you know, almost. You have this publicity card. Yeah, I have a feeling that all fire signs will, you know, anytime I use this deck, we'll probably continue to get this card because, you know, it's a time of attention, but she's pointing to one star, right? So the star card with the 8 of Wands on top of that, right? The 8 of Wands is right next to the star card here. And so 8 of Wands is like very focused. All those wands are moving in one direction. The star is having the North Star, having that your major, that one big focus, that one thing that you really make happen in your life, right? You have this discrimination card. This is a card of being able to tell the difference between what's real and fake. I think people's lie detectors are really good right now, so we need to trust that, right? Like even with like the government, I'm sure someone's gonna take it there. I'm not political, so don't even come at me. Like whatever, I don't care who you support, what you support, whatever. Like I want to burn it all down. So I don't know. There you go. But what I would say is like even the government, like people aren't trusting it. Like if it were the 1950s, everybody would just be trusting the government, right? Not anymore, which is probably a good thing. And so like I think people's lie detectors are on point, right? You have this decision card. No, it's not a decision that you're making here, Aries. I think that it's like you're finding your next step. That is the decision. I think it's a very easy decision. I think you want to change your life right now. And I also think, like, I'm not saying you want things to be easier. I just think things could be easier. You know, like I gave the example of YouTube. Instead of, like, you know, killing yourself doing 900 videos, it's like there might be a way to do one per month, right? It's like I feel like you're focusing on, like, quality. Maybe that's a better way to put it. You have this inheritance card. Yes, the downloading the ideas. This card can represent inheriting something from the universe, like getting ideas from the universe or getting guidance that really pushes you in the right direction. So, yep, love it. Definitely very good. I pretty much love this whole entire reading for you, Aries. So, looks good. Thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.